Hello, everybody. Welcome to the live. Today is Wednesday, and we are going live. And the subject today, I think, is really exciting because it's something that I rarely talk about, and that is actually the healing part of it. But I think that one of the things for sure, I think that it's something that we need to talk about often with grief. We need to talk about what the healing is. We need to talk about what it feels like. We need to talk about whether healing is possible. First thing we don't talk about is grief in general. We don't ever talk about grief. It's a taboo subject. Nobody ever wants to talk about it. Here you are as a griever left with trying to figure out whether you should be talking about this grief or not. What are the things to say? What do you say to the people? Did I say the right thing? We don't give grief the respect that it's always had. Well, that it used to have. I guess I should say that. And then we're over here trying to figure out how to grieve, how to grieve. Yet everybody's walking around saying things to us that we're totally taking offense to. Just the way grievers show up for us. Just the way grievers show up for us when we need them the most. The way that they show up for us can throw us off. Just the way our family shows up for us. So, one of the things that I have shied away from talking about, because I always thought that it was my job to be here for you guys, support you guys, to jump in the pool with you, be your friend during the grieving process, listen to you. But I do that, and I do that great, and I'll do it 7 ways to Sunday. I really will. Every day I will sit here and listen to you. But at some point, we've got to take a deep breath, and we've got to realize that there's absolutely a way through this. I gotta start saying it. I have to share this now. Hold on, I gotta move the fan. Because I keep doing one of two things. I keep either having it on me or moving it. So I have to move it. Let me move this phone. If you guys would see this little hookup that I have so that it can be at the right height. So welcome, everybody. Welcome to today's live. What are you afraid of for healing? What part of healing are you afraid of? What do you feel might be taken away if you heal? What is the thing that would mostly be affected if you decide to do some healing? I want you guys to come in, but I want you to come all the way in. I want you to come all the way in. Hey, Miss Duda, I want you to come in, Duda, sister. I want you to come in. I want you to take a seat. I want you to come in with your heart. I want you to come in with your heart, and I want you to just listen. I created a lesson that I want to talk to. I did a little bit of this in Grief Study Hall yesterday, and it was pretty good. So I decided to take it a little deeper today. I want you to take a deep breath with me and find that soft spot to land and land in the moment. And I just want you to sit in the moment for a minute and let's look at your grief. You've made it this far. Whether it's 3 weeks, 3 months, or 3 years, it all matters. It all totally matters. And you've made it this far. This is the spot where I want to be so that we can have a real conversation. We can have a real conversation about grief and a broken heart. We can have a real conversation about what this grieving thing is. You made it here and it matters. This is the place where I want to have the conversation with you. The ones who don't get it, they're probably not going to be here. The ones who don't want to get it, they're not going to sit here and listen to this. The ones who don't want to talk about their grief, they're going to see me on the live and they're going to skedaddle. Because there's a lot of us out there. But let's be honest with each other, because this is truly where healing begins. At this moment, in this time, in this space in your heart, is truly where the healing begins. I want to ask you something most people don't ask you. Not because they don't care, and not because they don't know how, because they honestly, they're scared to. They don't know what grief is asking of you? What is grief asking of you? What is being inside the battle asking of you? You're in the war. You're fighting this war from the inside out. What is grief asking of you? It is asking you to fight like hell right now. It is truly asking you to fight like hell. Debbie says it's asking for honesty. What inside your heart, what in the war of the grief is, what is it really asking of you? That's what we're going to be talking about today. There's a lot that's on the surface, right? So on the surface is what everybody sees from us. On the surface is what everybody sees from us. But today I want to go a little bit deeper. I want to go under the surface because I've been doing this work for nearly 2 decades this week. I've been doing this, I feel like I've been doing this week for 2 decades. I've been doing this work for nearly 2 decades. I've sat at the feet of hundreds of grieving women. And there's one truth that I've learned is that people don't resist the healing because it's hard. They resist it because sometimes they feel like they're going to be betrayed by others. Number one, they feel like they're going to be betrayed by themselves, that their own body will betray them, that they are betraying their person. If I do this work, I'm betraying her. We resist it because of how other people are going to perceive us. If I've lost my child, people are expecting me to grieve for the rest of my life. And if I go somewhere and I laugh, they're going to know that I'm not grieving. Then they're going to see me that I didn't love my person. Let that land for a minute. We also resist the grief because we really don't know how to do it. We also resist the grief because it feels so bad. Get this. It feels so bad. We think we're supposed to feel like this for the rest of our lives. We think that for the rest of our lives, this is the way we should feel. That if you stop crying for one moment, if you have a day without tears, then maybe you didn't love her that much. Maybe you're not doing this grief right. Maybe you're not doing the grief deep enough. That if the tears dry up, if the grief starts to shift, then maybe you're moving on. Hey, Flaw Girl. Doodah Sister says, I think I deserve to hurt because I couldn't save him. This is exactly where I'm going. Hold on one second. I'm going there. Let me ask you this directly. Have you ever felt guilty, yes or no, for laughing? Have you ever felt guilty, yes or no, for enjoying something? Have you ever felt guilty for having a good day? Have you ever felt guilty that you sat with your friend and you totally laughed? Have you ever felt guilty? A month after mom passed, I went out and someone said, I'm so glad you're feeling better. True or false? Some parts of you believe that if you start to feel better, people will think you're over it. True or false? There you go, Debbie. You guys are getting ahead of me. If you start to feel better, people start thinking you're over it. True or false? That's number one. True. True. Aida says true. And that is absolutely true. Yes. If you said yes, you're not alone. Many grievers will hold on to the grief or onto the pain like it's sacred. They hold on because that's all they're left with. Like it's the only thread. They're still trying to hold on to that person that they may have lost. And there's a lot of reasons why. And let's talk about that. Hold on one second. I want to go on the live and see what other people said. Hey, Christy. Hi, Pauline. Because when someone you love dies, everything that you had with them suddenly becomes a memory. And that pain is proof that you had a relationship with them. I'm going to read that again. I'm going to say that again. Read that again. I'm going to say that again. Everything that you had with that person, they take it with them. When they die, they take everything with them, and everything that you have left, the only thing you have left is a memory. But if I hold on to this proof, it's proof that I had a relationship with them. It's proof that they mattered. It's proof that this wasn't a dream. That's what it becomes proof of. The problem is, no one teaches us how to grieve. You start to believe the pain is the only way to keep them close. You start to believe that this pain is comforting. Or, like Duda's sister said, you start to believe this is all I have left because I should have done this. Fill in the blank. I should have done this. That's why I have this pain. I have regret from this. That's why I have this pain. Duda's sister, you're not the only one that feels that way. So many grievers feel that way. The problem is no one has taught us how to grieve. And so we truly start believing that the pain is the only way to keep them close. And that's what I want to unravel today. I want to unravel that together. The two of us, all of us. I'm saying the two of us because I'm talking to just you. "1011. Hold on to that thought. As soon as I'm done teaching this lesson, I'll get back and talk to you about that. Hey, everybody. My name is Sharon Brubaker. I'm a grief specialist. I'm the owner of the Grief School, the place where healing begins. I sit with women so they can feel heard, understood, and supported while they're on their unique grief healing journey. But more importantly, I teach you an educational program on grief, what grief is, what purpose it serves. The lesson that I'm teaching today is talking about why we're continuing to hold on to the pain, why we're afraid of moving on. So let's do this together. Let's imagine something for one moment. Imagine you wake up tomorrow and you feel a little bit lighter. Imagine tomorrow, after you feel a little bit lighter, imagine remembering them without immediately choking up. You have a memory of mom. You have a memory of your brother. You have a memory of your sister, and you don't immediately feel the choke in your throat. Imagine being able to breathe a deep breath without guilt, without regret. What would it mean about your love for them if you were able to take a deep breath? What would it mean if you loved them enough to have a moment of peace? What would it mean if you started to live your life and you didn't feel like you were leaving them behind? Could it mean something else? Could it mean something else? Suzanne says you can get back in touch with the love. That is the part that I'm trying to share with you. Suzanne knows, Pauline knows, they've actually gotten in touch with the love. Because here's the truth you've never been told. Healing is not forgetting, my friends. Healing is not replacing. And healing is not betrayal. Healing is what allows you to carry their love with you in place of the pain. And it's absolutely true. What happens is when we get in your heart and we make room in your heart, because Kat says how, you go after it, you look at it. We make room in our heart to honor them without destroying ourselves in the process. Kat, if this is the pain, if this cup here represents the pain, and I'm carrying this cup, but it's heavy, it's 350 pounds, together in a specific way, and there's no way that I can show you now because the program is either 4 days straight of doing the program or 12 weeks straight. I absolutely help you take this cup and I help you look inside in a specific way and look at the cup all the way around. And with my help, with me guiding you, but you doing the work, you decide where you're going to set this cup. You decide where you're going to set it down. But what happens is you remove that from your heart. Let me say that again. I know someone out there needs to hear this. Healing from a broken heart doesn't mean you remove them from your life. You absolutely have them in your life. What you need to do is make space for them to live with you. You make the space for them to live through you without swallowing you whole. You make space for them to live with you without them swallowing you whole. Let me tell you what I've seen in grief work. I've sat across women who were terrified. They were terrified to feel better. I sat across women who were mean, who were angry, and that anger came out as meanness. I've sat across women who didn't think they would make one more day. I've sat across the feet and sat at the feet of women who had grief that they've never discussed before. I've sat at the feet of women who came in for one thing and started to grieve something else. And let me tell you what they all had. They all were afraid. They were all afraid that if they stopped crying, if they stopped grieving, it would mean their love would go away too. Recently, I had a sister tell me, if I stop hurting, I'm scared I'll forget the sound of his voice. As long as I hold on to this pain, I won't lose the sound of his voice. If I stop holding on to the pain, then what do I have left of him? Does that sound familiar? Do you feel that when I say it? If I stop holding on to the pain, then what do I have left of him? Let me ask you that again in a yes or no question. Have you ever wondered that if the pain fades, the memories will go too? Yep, do.That sister said yep, Kat says yes. Have you ever wondered if the pain were to fade, would the memories go too? Suzanne says sure. Aida says yes, exactly how I feel. If the pain goes away, then I won't have anything of my person. I won't have any memory of him. I want to ask you guys a deep question because remember when I first came on here, I said this was going to be deep. And so I want to ask you guys a deep question. And this is a true or false deep question. Have you convinced yourself that the pain equals love? Have you guys think about that, you guys? Maybe you haven't said it out loud because I remember with Austin, I didn't say it out loud, but I truly believed that after the person is gone, they take the love with them, and what I'm left with is this pain. And they are the same thing. Suzanne said, before I did my work, absolutely. Aida said, I never thought about it. I didn't think about it either, but I had this sense that that's what I was feeling. It would feel like losing him all over again. Tracy says at first. Vicky says no. Do.That sister says yes. Kat says, I think so. Hey, Kat, that's cute. Here's the truth, friends. I thought the same thing. I absolutely thought the same thing. That's the conditioning. That's what we've been taught. Especially here, you guys in social media, I hear this a lot. People saying, "I, my mom just died. I'm going to feel like this for the rest of my life." Where did you get that from? Where? Where did that statement come from? Why is it that's what we say? Why don't we say, "My mom just died. I feel terrible. I've got to do my grief work. I've got to show her how much I love her by honoring her and respecting her and doing my grief work." It's conditioning. We've heard it from everyone. You're going to feel like this for the rest of your life. Give it some time and you'll feel better. Just keep busy. You'll feel better. Replace the loss and you'll feel better. The platitudes of what comes out of people's mouth is what we grab onto and what we believe. Grieving is a choice, Kat, 100%. But so is healing. It is a choice. Hey, Thomas. It is a choice. It is the conditioning that we've been taught, and it is wrong. Pain is the cost of loss, yes, but suffering for the rest of your life is not. Pain is the cost of our loss. It is the cost of our love. Tears are the sign of our broken heart. All of that is true, but suffering for the rest of your life is not. It absolutely is not. That is not a requirement of our grief. That is a side effect of being taught how to grieve. in a way that honors you and them. So let's flip the script today. Let me ask you a different question. What if healing didn't take something from you, but it gave you something back? What if healing didn't take the brokenness from you, but it gave you something back instead? What if what you got back was more love, more space? What if healing gives you back your breath? What if healing gave you back your energy? What if healing gave you back time? What if healing gave you back more of them and made you sit in a more comfortable place where you could share? What if healing gave you permission to feel joy without shame? Imagine that. Imagine a place where you could talk about your person, like I talk about Sharon. Share stories about Austin. Share stories about my dad. Talk about Donovan like he's sitting right next to me. Sometimes you guys share stories, and I actually think about my person, and then I smile because your stories remind me of a story that I had with them. It doesn't break me down. I actually can go into my heart and have memories of them. Susanna says it breaks down the wall and lets the multitude of all the love flow through when you do your work. Imagine being able to talk about your person without your throat closing. Imagine remembering the anniversary of their death and feeling grounded instead of shattered. Imagine carrying them in your heart, not as a wound, not as a gaping wound, but as a source of love, as a source of strength, as a source of meaning. What if you could love them and do your grief work? What if you could do your grief work and still have this love in your life that you show? True or false? Do you know how to get from grieving to healing in your broken heart? Do you know how to do that? True or false? You know how to get there, but part of you doesn't think it's possible. True or false? You know that you can get there, but you don't think it's possible for you. True or false? I know that this is possible, maybe, but maybe it's not possible for me. Aida says true. I know that his favorite thing would be to hear me laugh. It's hard when others don't want to talk about your person and tiptoe around it. 100% do that, sister. Butterfly Roses says, I do now. Debbie says, I'm trusting you. I'm holding your hand, Debbie. I'm holding your hand. Suzanne says, not only is it possible, it is achievable. Suzanne is an amazing woman who has absolutely done her work. Kat says false. She doesn't believe it. She doesn't believe that is possible. So don't trust me, Kat. Trust Butterfly Roses, who's doing some work. Trust Suzanne. Butterfly Roses says, I do now. She's like, I've been sitting with Sharon and I hang out with her. Let me see. Hey, Lupe. It's so good to see you and hear you. It's good to see you too. Hey, Deborah. Hey, you guys. So glad you're in the live. Thank you. Let me offer you guys some truth. You don't have to prove your love through suffering. I'm going to say that again. You do not have to prove how much you love your person by suffering. Period. You just don't. I want you to know that. You've already done that. You've already suffered. We know you love them. I know you love them. I know you miss them. That is not a question. Your love for them is not a question. Your missing them is not a question. But continuing to suffer in silence doesn't make you a better griever. You're not going to win an award. I promise you that. We're not going to win an award. Thomas says, what do you think we do to beat the pains. We go after and tell the truth, Thomas. We tell the truth about our story. We tell the truth about our story with our person. And it's the part that I teach. We tell the truth. It's been 13 months since I lost my mama. Some days are better than others. Yes, that's grieving. Absolutely. We continue to suffer in silence. Doesn't make us a better griever. We're not getting an award at the end of this. You're not going to come to the end of the life and someone's going to say, and the award goes to Suzanne, the griever who suffered the most, who didn't do any work, who didn't go after the brokenness in her heart. You're not going to win an award, my friend. What you're going to end up doing is losing time, energy. Your heart's going to be broken. All it's going to do is make you someone who hasn't been shown how to heal. And it's going to cause undue suffering. There's a difference between grieving and suffering. Grief doesn't have to stay this heavy. You can still cry. You can also rest. You can still miss them, and you can also laugh. You can still wish they were here, and you can also choose to be here. You can wish they were here sitting beside you, but still choose to be here, be alive, be whole, and be present in your life. Both things can exist. And no, none of this means that you're moving on. It means that you're honoring them. I don't even believe in the phrase of moving on. Thomas says, thank you so much for your help. I wish we could have a private group for the grievers. We do have a private group. I do have a private group. I have this Facebook page. I have this TikTok page, and I have grief study hall. I need to do a men's group. I know, Thomas, and I'm getting to it. I am getting to it. One group at a time, but I am getting to it. Men need a group. They do. I agree with you. And no, none of it means you're moving on. You never have to move on from your person. Hear what I'm saying, friends. You will never have to move on from your person. You move forward with them in your heart. The living becomes a little bit lighter. And healing is the process of learning how to do that. Healing is the process of learning how to do that. Okay. Yes or no? Here comes a yes or no question. Do you want to feel closer to them in a way that doesn't destroy you? Yes or no? Do you want to feel closer to your person in a way that doesn't destroy you? Yes or no? Deborah, there's never going to be enough time. She says she's waiting on time. Absolutely. Heck yeah. Okay. True or false? You've been afraid of healing because no one ever told you what it really means. True or false? You're afraid of healing because no one ever showed you. So if true, you're afraid. False, you're not afraid of healing. Even though no one showed you. False, you're not afraid. Deborah says true. Aida says yes. Butterfly Rosa says yes. Lupe says yes. Wisco says true. Cat, true. Garcia, yes. Flaw Girl, true. Healing means you stop fighting with your grief. Friends, you are fighting the grief 100%. And let me explain this to you. The last time you started to feel heavy in your heart, you were at the grocery store. I'm using that because I use that often. You're at the grocery store. You look down, you see his favorite box of cereal, you see her favorite bread, you look down, you see it, and all of a sudden your heart gets heavy. But instead of letting that pain that is in your heart process all the way through, instead of letting it be there and be seen, we run out of the grocery store. We don't let the emotions come. We move on to something else. We change the subject. We pick up our phone and we start scrolling. We are fighting against the grief every single day. It's so painful. We start fighting against it instead of allowing it. Number one thing that I teach you is how to allow it. Healing means we stop fighting against our grief. Healing means we stop punishing ourselves for surviving. Do.That, sister, did you hear that? Healing means you stop punishing yourself for surviving. Healing means you make space to carry both the love and the pain. At first, you're doing both. And then eventually the pain is going to fade as you get deeper into the work. The pain softens over time. It's almost unrecognizable. And the truth is, it will soften. That ache will soften. The weight in your chest will soften. The lump in your throat will soften. There is nothing written in the book of life that says we grieve forever. It is nowhere in there. We just have accepted it as true because everybody is telling us that. I promise you, my friends, you were not meant to live in this pain forever. You were meant to heal. Grief serves the purpose of a review, the purpose of your love, to remind you of your love, to walk through the grieving. You're already grieving. You're already grieving. The part you're not doing is the healing. You're grieving every day. The grieving and healing go together, but you're only doing the grieving part. You're not doing the healing part. What do you think that the grief might take away from you? What do you think it might take away? What might it take away? Your guilt? Might it take away your shame? Maybe it'll take away your fear. Maybe it will take away your belief that you're supposed to stay broken to prove your love. I promise you guys, if you guys believe that you're going to hold on to the guilt, the shame, and the fear, I really want to invite you. Let me take that from you. Let me take those painful parts of grief from you. Let me show you how to take them and set them down. Do.That sister said, I'm scared of who I am now that he's gone. So much of who I was as a person was looking after him. My heart to yours, my love. Because when you, what grief healing gives you in return is so much more. It gives you back your life. It gives you back your peace. It gives you moments of joy. It gives you every memory plus the new memories you're going to make with them. And most of all, it gives you a way to carry your person and carry that love in your heart, not the loss. What you guys are carrying now is the loss. I want to invite you to begin the process now, something really small, something really simple, because healing begins with one step, just one step. And so today I want to invite you to download the Grievers Guide. Go to the link in my bio and download the Grievers Guide if you haven't done so. If you're in the Facebook group or the Instagram, you just go to the link in the post, and it says Beacons AI, the Grief School. It's the full definition of grief. From there, you're going to be offered to buy the series, to purchase the series for $27, a video series on the definition of grief. Just what grief is. I have laid out the definition of grief. It is a video series that you can watch in your own time, in your own space. There is a grief journal in there. And so it'll help you to break it down and ask you some deep questions for yourself. You're not weak for not wanting to heal. You're not disloyal for seeking peace. You're not letting go of them. You're letting go of the weight that is crushing you. That's what we're letting go of. You're not moving on. You're moving forward. So any one of you that's here, that's ready, download the Grievers Guide or follow me. Go to the link in the bios and follow me. Follow me in the Facebook group. Come to Grief Study Hall. Come to the lives. I do currently Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Saturday, 4 lives a week where I'm just breaking down grief. Thomas, if you go to the link in my bio there's a group there called the Grief Study Hall. It's every Tuesday from 1 to 3 Central Standard Time. But if you also go there and you reach out to me at info at the grief school, Thomas, if you reach out to me there, you'll get my assistant. I'd love to talk about setting up a men's group for you. It's something I definitely have to get on the books. Okay, friends, everyone that's here in the live, I want to say thank you. I want to say thank you. Thank you for allowing me to talk to you about what healing looks like. One of the things that I am definitely changing, I didn't redo it because I'm adding the book. I didn't redo it because I'm adding the book, but look at the videos. The videos are amazing. I started out just to redo it, and I was like, nope, I'm doing the book. And the Grieve That Shit is coming out at the end of this month. So if you guys want to get on the wait list for Grieve That Shit, you just get on the wait list there in the link. I'm going to change the way that I'm talking. I'm going to be doing a lot more talking about healing, about what healing looks like. I am healing. I'm healing. Erica's healing. You guys saw a video with Erica. You saw the interview with Erica. Erica's healing. Suzanne is healing. Other people talking about their grief who are working on their grief, they're healing. I have other grievers in here. Lupe has done some work with me. Pauline has done some work with me. That's healing. They're here. They can share their stories. They can share what it's like in their heart. I do love the name too. Oh, you were able to put it out. Okay, perfect. Perfect. I love it. Butterfly Rosa says, I want you all to know that grief can make you truly physically ill. Okay, TikTok, hold on. I'm going to stay in there. To everyone in the Facebook group and all of the lies, I want you to know that I see you. Thank you for joining me. I want to offer you a space to heal, a space where you can lay your grief. Friends, when Austin died and I walked up the stairs to tell Erica that we had found him and that he had in fact drowned, the one thing that I knew to be true beyond anything else is I didn't know how to grieve. And I want to be that person for you until the day I leave this earth, until the day that God decides it's no longer time for me to be here. I want to be the person who guides you out. I want to be the person who leads you out of this pain. That is the gift that Austin left for me, and that is the gift that I'm going to be sharing with you. Thank you all for joining me today, and I will see you all. Of course, I don't know the time. I'll see you all tomorrow morning. Hey, friends, tomorrow morning, the live is going to be at 11 a.m., I believe. At 9 a.m. That's not right. At 11 a.m. Central Standard, at 11 a.m. Central Standard Time. I'll see you tomorrow on the live. Okay, TikToks, hang on. I'll be right there. Thank you, friends.